can see like you're adding pass rush moves as camp goes along. You're learning different techniques. What would you say is the thing you're the most confident in terms of when you're getting after the passer? This is what I can go to and win with.
Yeah, no doubt. I mean, like I said at the beginning, it all starts with get off, and everything from there works itself out. One thing that I've really put an emphasis on this camp is just my speed to power, because a lot of guys I want to threaten them. Not only when I'm threatening their outside and taking an inside move, or cross shopping outside, or I just really want to make sure that they can feel that, you know what I mean, and anchor on their heels and sit down, and obviously that transitional pass rush is will follow.
Sure. You're going against Riley quite a bit, first team versus first team.
Yeah.
That's one of the best tackles in the country.
Yes,
what's that matchup like, and what do you learn from a guy like that as you're going play to play?
Yeah, healthy competition. Obviously Mama's a great player. I love being able to, anytime I do team one-on-ones, whatever it may be, to be able to kind of get in front of him. And obviously I'm asking him questions, he's asking me questions like, why are you doing this, or why are you out this wide, or you know what I mean, kind of just helping him, he's helping me, So it's beneficial to have guys who, are very technical, they know what they're doing, and obviously great players.
There's something that maybe he's told you like, hey, I did this because you did this, that kind of stuck out to you?
Yeah, he told me he's really strong with his outside hand, and unless I'm really just threatening that edge, he's good with shooting, replacing, and so I got to be able to, when I'm coming around the edge or I'm swiping, I'm double. I got to make sure that I'm bringing my back toe, my leg through and pulling it through. So it's just little things like that we be able to kind of talk about.
So for going up against guys like Riley, and specifically like Davis too, like how have you seen Davis, your battles with him on the edge and competition with him? What are you seeing from him, and has he improved too over time?
Yeah, no doubt. Davis coming in. Obviously, he was a new guy, and it's been good. You know what I mean? Healthy competition. I've definitely seen him slowly get better and better and better as camp has gone on, and kind of understanding, different players. Like that's the good thing about our room is we're so versatile. So he gets, all these different looks at different body types, different get-offs, and things like that. So he's definitely, been improving in camp, and I think he's been doing a really good job.
When you committed, I remember you talked about being excited to get to play inside linebacker. You felt like a lot of schools maybe recruited you for a different spot. What was just kind of your honest reaction, last year when they told you they were sending you back to outside?
Yeah, I kind of just took it full on. Obviously, this time last year, it's kind of like a full circle moment. Around this time last year, I was actually getting moved over. So when Coach Fick kind of came and said, some guys had gone down, and I was a guy that they wanted to lean on and thought I could be really productive in that role. There was no hesitancy, and obviously I have full belief and faith in this coaching staff in terms of how they want to be attacking opponents. So I was happy, having a little background in high school as well. So it was good.
Was there a moment you remember where you were like, okay, this is going to work out for me?
It's a good question. I would honestly say just in practice. There's practices where I could really feel like I was dominating. You know what I mean, and not just doing my job, but really just dominating the team, you know what I mean? There was one time in spring specifically, I remember we were doing like team second and pass or something like that, and I maybe had like 3 or 4 sacks in a row, and guys were kind of just like turning their heads and asking me like, damn, like you just moved positions, you know what I mean? So just kind of things like that, you know what I mean, and just a natural feel for the position.
Not that you're not, big and athletic, but you look at the guys they're bringing in at your position now. I mean, a guy like Tyrese Fearbry is small.
Yeah, right.
That room.
Right.
Why have you been able to continue to have success, and grow in this spot, even though maybe you don't check off the same boxes physically that some of these guys like Fearbry or Garner, Walker, Mason, whoever? Yeah,
kind of like I was saying earlier, just the versatility of the room. We all have different talents. We all are able to kind of do different things, and one of my abilities is obviously to rush the passer. You know what I mean? But one of the emphasis in spring for me, and even now some more fall camp, is just aggressiveness in the run game. You know what I mean? And credit to Coach Fick and the coaching staff for being able to kind of change the surfaces and things that we're doing that allows us to play aggressive in the run. and that's something that I've really honed in on, setting great edges. You know what I mean? I have a good base. You know, I may have short arms, but you know what I mean? I'm physical. You know what I mean? I got good strike, and it allows me to kind of do and play within the technique and fundamentals of the position.
Do you think one of your advantages too is maybe you're kind of an all-around guy? You know, like you mentioned, rush passer, set the edge.
Yep.
You know, playing pass coverage too, a little bit because you're inside linebacker background.
Yeah, no doubt. You know what I mean? And a lot of people, yes, physically, but it's also mental. Things that I was able to learn at inside linebacker, it allows me to see the backfield set, it allows me to recognize formations, and honestly, it lets me play faster. You know what I mean? And when I can diagnose a play a lot faster, it allows me to do those things, you know what I mean, that you know, puts edge rushers in good positions.
Yeah, absolutely.
What stood out to you about Mason?
Mason Rudolph?
Yeah.
Oh man, I love Mace. You know, he's from my hometown, so you know, we really clicked right away when he kind of came in. But you know, I'm going to talk about more so off the field. You know, he's just such a good guy. You know what I mean? He's genuine, funny. We hung out like literally all summer, so that's just my guy. You know what I mean? We have a great relationship, and he's my roommate. So you know, every night we're kind of just bouncing off each other's ideas and you know, coaching each other up and doing little things like that.
You know, Coach Fickle was talking about how he kind of brings a different energy. Is he ever like low energy?
Oh no, never. He's a guy that's actually, you know, challenged, you know, the room and even the defense. Just let's celebrate more. You know what I mean? And that's something that's just like it vibrates, you know, throughout the team, and guys are just more energetic. And when you got guys who, you know what I mean, can bring that type of energy, it only brings things up.
What do you guys like to do for fun?
Oh man, you know, he's a fishing guy, and he's like out in the nature, but you know, we go out all the time, and we train together even back home. So you know, we're always just kind of just kicking it, you know, really grabbing a bite to eat or doing something like that. So.
Did you guys know each other before this?
You know, it's a crazy story. So we actually played in high school, and we didn't even know it. You know what I mean? He went to Conant, I went to Evanston, so I think it was my freshman year that we played. So it was kind of funny looking back on it now that, you know, I kind of give him shit because we won that game. But yeah, it's crazy. It's full circle.